Hey, how you doing? Alrighty then. Let's do it to it. Alright. Alright. Stay focused. I have to get another shot at it. Okay, let's see what we got here. Ah, I for some reason didn't see that diagonal checkmate. That's my miss there. Okay. Because of that. Okay, let's give it one more shot. Try it again. Oops. Hmm. Where is it? I think I could have taken that. Let me check, see where I went wrong here. That's me. Okay, I missed there. I could actually take here and then take there. I didn't see that. I did now. Pen. You win a rook. Oh. Okay. Okay. Um. We'll keep it there. That was good. Because the idea is that you're going to pick this up with the attack there. Okay. let's do it to it. Let's get on to our studies. We'll do a Magnus Carlsen endgame, and then we'll go into our puzzles. Excuse me, there's a hiccup. Magnus played rook takes b4. White is a pawn up, but two of his pawns, the c and the f pawn, are vulnerable. So bishop f8, rook b4, rook b6. Carlsen makes sure his f pawn stays alive. It's hard to imagine how many problems it would cause for black, this pawn here. Back rank problems, of course, we know that. Rook a3 and rook c1. Oops. Bishop e6. Knight f3. Now he's trying to activate his knight. Rook f8. And then h4 exclam. He's trying to get break this down, break the weakness on g6 and open it up. Opening up the back rank may also by pushing further h pawn. So h6. Oops, sorry about this. I gotta enlarge this, otherwise it's too small. h6. It could be that rather than h6, black could play rook b3, rook c6, h5, and then knight g5, and white wins because you're going to eliminate this bishop here. And the bishop, all the pawns are on the same color as the bishop, so it's horrible. 95. White threatens to take the g-pawn because with taking and take, so like if something like this, you know, something here, something like, you know what, we're gonna just do this here. This happens here, and you you win a pawn, another pawn. So 95. So rook a1, rotates a1, rotates a1 check, of course. If b8, or sorry, not that one. If b8 here, or bb1, rook bb1, rook a1 to a3, rook b8, rook a1, rotates a1, rotates a1, check king h2, rook a8, and rook e7, g5, g4, so the idea is, if you're wondering, like, why doesn't he just play rook c1, right? Check here, and then now you're in a world of hurt at this point, because this here, and even if takes, knight takes, now you're threatening the Arabian mate. So bishop takes, check, king there, check, over, takes, king up, takes, and the whole house is falling down at that point. So king h2, rook a3, rook b8 check, h7, and then f4. Hey. F4 is a double exclam move here. What you're trying to do is play g4 and then get a potential f5 going, and trying after takes, bishop takes, the knight takes, and you get a pass pawn on the f file. That's kind of the idea. To obtain it all and stop g6, trapping black's king on the king side. So rotates c3, h5, interesting. Exclam. Building an attack, very powerful and original. The fact that he does it with little material makes it really nice. G takes h5. Rook b3. H takes G6 check, F takes G6, and then Rook E8, and now you're attacking the bishop, and you're setting up for a winning idea. So Rook B6 is vital. Rook E7 check, King G8, Rook G7 check, King F8, Knight takes check, King E8, and then Knight to E5, and White would be completely winning because F6 is coming, F7 is coming, and then Rook F8, G8 check, and King would have to come up, and then Queens. So that's the idea there. So that's why they take instead of moving over trying to trade. Rook F8, Rook F8, Rook A3, and then F5. This ensnares the last bit of the bishop, so the madness gives Levon no time to get his attack going. Bishop takes, Rook takes F7, check. The rest is easy. King G8, Rook G7 check, King F8, Rook B7, and Rook A8 to hold the position basically, and then King G3 exclam. The idea is he wants to potentially try to pacify the bishop by playing King H4 and making the bishop stay in contact with this pawn, and then it's basically all over, because once the bishop retreats out there, the knight has a nice little pocket on G6 to go to, and it's a game, set, and match, friend. The king prepares to knock the bishop off balance, like what we just said. Rook D8, King F4. Oh wow, so it's attacking the bishop. Interesting. Bishop B4. G3. I was thinking that potentially he could try king here, and then if bishop tried G4, then check, and if the king went here, this would be actually mate. The king went there, that would be checkmate. So he couldn't hold the pawn at the same time. I'm thinking King H4 was a better move here. This is a lot stronger. Oh, he can push. Ouch. So it's a draw. Okay. Okay, gotcha. So he doesn't have time to mess around. Okay. That's right. Rook F7 is winning here too. If king there, check, there, oops, hold on. I'll just cement that. Okay. F3, C3, pawn C3. Okay, it's going up the board. rook f7 check, king g8, rook g7 check, king f8, knight d7 check, rook takes, and then rook takes. And Carlsen attacked superiority, and with his little material he used two of his favorite tools, pushing the h-pawn and using the rook effectively on the 7th. Alright, on to the French defense. Hold on. 1 second, I'll be right back. 1 second. Let's do it. Good, how you doing? Alright. We're doing the French defense, the advanced variation. White is Alexander Grushchak and Vitagov. Great. It's good to hear. E4, E6, D4, oops. D4, D5, push, C5, C3, knight there, knight there. Yes, I do. They're all on our studies. You just type in Bismuth law, and you can go there and go over them. Oops, I think they actually did Queen B6 here instead of knight. Knight f3, knight there, let's see, 6, a3, and then c4. This is considered black's stops b4 idea and gaining space on the queen side. This is the closed French defense, mainline closed French defense. And it's more positional at this point, and black's going to try to develop castle queenside, and then play f6 and get the party started. Knight bd2, knight a5 to implant the knight there, and also bishop g3, bishop d7, and bishop g2. Sometimes white plays h4 to post up the bishop on h3. So sometimes they'll play here and then post the bishop up on h3. It prevents black's idea of f6 for a little bit. Castle queenside, bishop h3, f5, e takes f, and then g takes, and then castle kingside. And now it's a sharp position. There's mutual chances. As yet, it's understandable that black's center pawn represents a strength rather than a weakness. So we're just going to totally get our bishop here and then break the whole house open. Bishop g2, and then black castle queenside. Would these two camps take part on multiple conditions? So we can reach the opposite wing castling with issues for both sides. Black can play for a king side attack, but it's not easy since any king pawns tend to create weakness in black's camp. If white tries a king side attack by playing, a queen side attack by playing b3, this comes with high risk. Since the c pawn will take it, and this will lead to an open b file for open b file, and I think they mean c file, and a potential backward c3 pawn, and black may be able to utilize the c4 square for his knight with rook king b8, rook c8, and then knight to c4. And it'd be something like if he played there, you take here, if it takes there, you can actually jump into c4, take and utilize the new outpost. So white castled, and black played f5. This move is book, but I think it is a tad early. I would play for it more cautiously, keeping the center closed with the lines like a6, rook b1, knight e7, rook e1, king b8 is more of effective setup. E takes. This move opens the g file for black, also enhances black's central control, yet it also allows white to create a target on e6. and opens the e-file to enhance the same pressure for white's rook on the e-file. So g takes, rook e1, and then bishop d6. And so everything's starting to flood out for black. I suppose you could try knight to h6, rook b1, and then knight to f5, b4, exclam, because you are, this is kind of not a fun thing to have dropped on you because of the queen and rook. You gotta always be on guard. C takes, knight takes b, and then bishop a4, and knight f d2 to hold this position together. It's kind of an odd setup, to say the least, because I'm sure after takes, knight takes, that you can just at this point just move the queen and something like no, you probably wouldn't want to move there because then the bishop will retreat back. Maybe queen c6, trying to poke into c4, maybe. Bishop h3, increasing the pressure. c7 was played, which is kind of a dubious move. There's no real reason to retreat your bishop back. In my opinion, I think he should have, black should have played in something like this, e7 to g, and then tried to hammer down, or maybe even just going for it right away. Maybe playing knight here, rook slides over, h5, h4, and trying to take scope on the bishop. There's a lot of an attack. Well, I'm learning a lot from how Magnus Carlsen thinks in his type of positions. He uses his h-pawns at the right moment. He also uses his rooks to their optimum effectiveness. And I'm thinking that because the whole idea about knight going e there is to potentially get a break on e5. So we're wanting to try to kind of do a kingside attack, but also if the wings are open, central play is good. But you got to be careful of a queen attack on d5. So it's like, what do you do? So this is more of a quiet move. I don't think it's best. Rook e1, or b1, sorry, rook b1 wasn't exclaimed because the next idea is to play b4, and it's going to come with tempi. King b8, and then b4 exclam. There is a thin line between doing, he says, and opening up lines to the king. This is kind of wonky or crazy. When white played the weakening attacking move b4 in this line, the conflict tends to point out that yes, it does get an exclam mark, but you have to make sure it's not a feeble attempt or a small attempt to that if anything were to happen, that black would be able to counter punch, and so white's going to be careful when they open up like that. They don't want to walk into a problem. So black plays C takes B3. Now, not much choice. If knight C6, which is a double question mark blunder here, because you don't ever want to walk into a bishop takes E6, and after takes there, comes here and you win a pawn. Now this is a pin, and B5 is going to be coming with nothing but pain. So that's forced to take. Knight takes, and then knight to E2. I'm not sure if white's last move should be a celebration or futile. He says this move is, because think about it, he's opened up the position. Yes, he's opened up the position here. They're trying to say, should white have actually waited to have taken this and played something maybe a little more quiet just for a second to potentially maybe something like that. I'm not sure if that's best, but there's no real reason to take at this moment. You can try maybe something altogether different. Maybe move the queen first, but I think that loses a piece though. So it's a hard one to tell. But I'm thinking that's something. It just feels wrong about this move, because you can easily do a pin attack on there. It doesn't feel right. A4 is too soon. It's a mistake. It's too soon. So there's no real reason to rush this, because rook takes E6 exclam at this point. Bishop takes B3. Queen D3. Is an exclam move as well. So you walked right into a pin, and you can't guard this bishop. It's only guarded once. So rook D6, rook E8 check, rook D8, rook takes D8, bishop takes D8, knight D2. Now this is double attacked, and then bishop C4, which is again a mistake. The correct line is actually knight E7. That's what they're saying, knight E7. Let me see here. Knight takes here. Knight takes, and then queen to D1. White regains the lost piece with interest, remaining a pawn up with the bishop pair, so white's better off. C4. Knight takes C4. D takes C4. Queen E4. Queen C6. Bishop F4. Check. King 8. And D5. Queen C5. Queen E8. Bishop, our queen takes D5. bishop g2, bishop queen d3, and then bishop e4. And black loses heavy material since his queen is out of safe squares and can no longer defend the bishop on d8. It is that some of these move sequences are pretty interesting. If you go wrong, you will feel the consequences of that. Knight fd2, and then queen c6 to get out of the pin. Knight takes b3, knight takes b3, and then bishop c8, bishop d2, queen c6, and then knight c5, knight f5, and queen f3 exclam. Leaving black without any good response to the coming knight takes e6 type of trick. There really isn't a good response to that. It's a puzzle rush setup. Knight c5. Black is in a bad way under pressure. This is starting to come under heavy pressure. Knight f5. Sorry, hold on. Knight f5. Knight d b3. Knight takes b. Okay, if knight c4, which is a double question mark here, blunder. Knight takes d6 check. Rook takes d6 and knight c5. With the simultaneous threat of attacking there and playing rook takes on b7, winning a pawn. And also winning a e6 pawn too. So everything would collapse at that point. So that's why he took, and then the queen comes in, and ew, black's not having fun anymore. b6. If we must turn the, as he says, the other cheek, that's funny, then this is not a fun thing, because if black plays b6 here, bishop b6, then a lot of attack could be coming down the pike with a4, a5, and then after takes, and then you win a piece, you're winning material. Everything's just pressure galore. a4 exclam. Intending to go a5, bishop c8, a5, e5, prepare to meet a wing attack with a center counter. In this case, black's play comes too late. Takes. a3, which was a mistake by Khrushchev. White remains in full control of the position with bishop g2 exclam. The position is fully locked down. There's no hope whatsoever because he can't take the knight. There's no reason to worry about that. The king's in a pin. I like how one of the author of the Magnus Carlsen book says that Gruschek should have just tightened the screws on the position, just tightened everything up, every little bit. You have to tighten all the way around the items, otherwise if you put too much pressure on one, it'll break. So you do a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit there, and it won't break. And I think Gruschek tightened a little bit too much on the queen side. I think he should have tightened up a little bit on the king side. Alert, combination alert. Combination alert for white. So I'm gonna give you, Team Chess Cruncher, a mission. You're gonna have to find white to move exclam. Black to move exclam. I had the wrong one. I'm so used to white to move exclam. I gotta put black. Black to move exclam. This is it. So what would black play here? That would be an exclam move. That's an interesting move. That's an interesting move, but think even a little bit deeper. Think puzzle rush idea. Think counter punch. Think counter punch. Because you're being attacked, you need to attack right back at him. Think puzzle rush, counter strike. What would a puzzle rush move be? I'll be right back. I'll give you a little bit of time to think about this. Black to move, counter strike. Try again. Just give it another shot. Yep, good job. Great job there. By finding knight h4, you got it. Spot on move. Excellent. Nice job. Nice job. Because the idea, you're threatening to jump into f4, forking the king and the rook. Nice work there. What wonderful when you're able to have a gift from above, as I like to say, a heavenly gift. This shot is impressive for black. Rook, bishop g2, covering the f3 fork. If black had tried pawn takes, which is a mistake here, bishop, boom, kaboom. And potentially now you're coming in with a close to a checkmating idea, and maybe even winning, total winning. Rook e3, and then bishop f5 to attack the rook, and leaving black better here. And then there's another line after this, that if bishop takes c8, mistake again. Now the check comes in, king h1, king takes h8, exclam, now it's out of the pin, and black's almost winning here. Knight e6, and then knight takes e1, rook takes e1. White lacks compensation for the exchange. And if check here, I know what you're thinking, what about king there, right? Well, now you can cement there, and actually this is a mistake too. It's not e4 the reason. You just grab here, you grab, the rook would take, and now you take, and this is in, the king takes is an exclam again. And if he moves here, not enough compensation for the attack. I mean, for the loss of the material, it's not enough comp. So that was a wonderful move, and the only move to hold was this move. Knight takes g2, king takes g2, decisive. This light squared bishop, his light squared bishop, white's attack is suddenly all over, and it's done. But he did play, there was no real well posted rook move, so d2, e8 could have been played here. It's not, this isn't the best, it's a dubious move, it's kind of like a waste of time. The author says there's really no good rook move, so basically black tried their best so that if this is to take, then that would take, and the bishop still can hold on to b6 at that point. Knight to a4, exclam. I'm wondering if potentially, rather than the rook move, maybe bishop to f6. This is just my analysis. Bishop f6 might be better, and then if there, you can play king c8, getting out of this pin. If even they can't double anymore because the bishop's there. So they could potentially try this, that, but now this idea doesn't work because you can just take, and not enough compensation again for the loss of the rook, a whole rook at this point. So I'm thinking that after the bishop f5, I'm thinking that's a good move. Let's see what the computer considers it. What here? Oh, knight check, rook o. Huh. And it's an interesting position to say the least, but at least the king's out of the pin. So I still like bishop f5. I know the computer doesn't like it, but I think it would have actually given the king a spot to flee to. Now the king's in a world of hurt again. He takes. Gruschek took here. This is a dubious move. There's no need to surrender the open file. No need at all. Black's got the open file. What they're saying is that potentially rook to c rook ec1 is actually a much better move here, because now what you're doing is you're getting your last rook involved, and if takes, now you open right on to the queen. But this was that was a dubious move that Gruschek played. And oh, wait a second, sorry. If this d3, then knight takes b6, and white is favored in this position. I forgot to put the rest of the line in. See, takes d4. Black looks fine here until his next move. Bishop, rook e6, mistake. You know what? We all make mistakes. We get a little too, as I like to say, complacent in some of our moves. We get too defensive. I'm thinking that potentially maybe bishop f5 is actually a better move. Bishop f5 is an exclam. I was also considering that potentially you can play bishop d7 here as well, and then go for an attack on a4, knight a4. But he does have knight can go to c5 at that point using a pin. So maybe that isn't the best idea, because we want to try to keep our pieces on the board as much as we can to hold the position together. So f5, and then rook c1, and queen to e6. And black's light square bishop counterplay makes up for his weaker king. Bishop to c5, exclam. Now everything is in trouble. It's in trouble, trouble, trouble. b5, knight c3, bishop a6, Knight takes b5. Bishop takes b5. Queen takes b5. Queen takes b5. Rook takes b5. Check. The ending is lost for black, who is down a pawn. And so king c8. Yeah. And bishop f8. Bishop b6. And rook takes b5. And he resigns here. Black resigns. What he's saying is that the c4 leads to a sharp opposite wing castling back here. When you get into a closed position here at this point, rather than playing like bishop d7 or maybe bishop e7 or even f5, something like that, or f6 or f5, you have to remember you're going to go for more castle queenside ideas, and your opponent's going to castle kingside. It's who can break through first. And we also found out that we got to be careful when the rook moves to b1, rook to b1 in the clothesline if you play it, because their next idea is to play b4 with tempi. So just keep that in mind. And so now we'll head on into our puzzles. White to move mate 2. Great job. I think there's two mates. See here. That's one mate. I think this might be a mate here too. Nope. Blocks, okay. Okay, yeah, there's only one mate. He could block with the other one. Yep, D6 is the move. You can't play Rook F6. It's in the pin. Yeah, this one's kind of tricky. Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, it blocks. Ah, forgot about the blocking tactic. Yep. Yeah, this pin is, yeah, forgot about the blocking attack. Yeah. There, no longer this blocks it. Yep. Wow. Good job. Well, black's got a load of material there. Yeah, black's got a bunch of material here. There's only one move though that wins, and I know you see it. I see the mate too. It's a pretty cool move. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Smother mate. It's kind of like a smother mate thing here. You know, when there's not a lot of pieces on the board, you get a. It's a little bit easier. I find that it's a lot easier to do when there's less pieces on the board. Yeah, B7 is mate. It's one of those puzzle. These are really similar to the Puzzle Rush ones. We'll do 6 more and then I have to log off. These are fun. So there's some good ones today. D4 is mate. There you go. Oops. Drat, there's no rook there. Sorry. Yeah, there, for some reason I thought there was a rook that I can do a... That's funny. This is the only mate. Right there. That is funny. Okay, dokie. I'm sure you'll get this one. This one's kind of a slightly tricky. And if rook g5, then mate there, and then mate there. There's a couple different mates. If the bishop doesn't take. That's an interesting one for sure. Okay, oops. I gotta get the king, come on. Let me see here. Anything else? This is a cool mate here. Yep, there you go. Dude, that's a cool mate. Like, you gotta love those type of mates. Okay, after this one, there's only one more. One more. One more puzzle. And then we get to do another one. Let me see here. Got it. Yeah, that's right. Okay, wanted to make sure I got this right. Perfect. I have the rooks in the right spot. Okay. Alright. Okay, 2 bishops. Boom, boom. King. 2 rooks. And then oh, no queens. Okay. So there's a knight. Where's the black king? There it be. Got it. Hey, nice. To double check. One more. Let's see if we can get 100% at this. One more. One more, and then we get 100%. Okay, if we get this one right, we're 100% out of 12 out of 12. And that'll be a hoorah, yeah. There you go. Bishop d6. Or if queen takes, then bishop d4. So there's 2. Congrats on that. Great job. Okay, do you have any questions? Yeah, do you have any, you had a question last night. I apologize, I logged off too soon. Do you still want that question answered? I'll wait for a second. Play okay. Because I know you had a question last night, I forgot. Okay. Alright, perfect then. What happened was the H was really small. Yeah, the H was really small, and I thought it was an N. Yeah, that was what happened. And when you said "oh" question, I thought it was no, and I logged off too soon. So wanted to apologize about that. I don't ever want to, when you Team Chess Cruncher has a question, I want to try to answer it. I didn't see the H. I thought it was an N, and uh, you got to be more precise in looking at the words sometimes. But you know what? That's the reason we're human, and the Lord Jesus is Lord God. So it's a blessing about that. Okay, what we have to remember in this situation, what we learned from the French defense is that moves do have consequences, like what we think about do have consequences, especially when you sit down over the board and you play. So if you're going to do a closed French with c4, like what we just studied in the French defense, you're going to have to be able to castle queenside more and be okay with that, and not allow the rook to get, if the rook does get to b1, move your queen off of that file as quick as you can so that b4 doesn't come with power. And just keep your moves, and if he's castling opposite side, you castle opposite side. Whoever, basically they call it the cave person attack, whoever can basically take the king out first wins. So make sure that your castling on the queen side gives you enough time for counterplay. Don't castle into an attack. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. But like sometimes what you have to do is, it may look like, in the impossible, like when the children of Israel came to Jericho, the walls of Jericho. The walls were really, really huge, and so there was like no way that they can get through. Okay, in human terms, at that time, whatever technology they had, there was no way they were getting through. They followed what the Lord said, and they walked around, and then they did what the Lord told them to do for 7 days. And at the right moment, they shouted like the Lord told them to, and the wall came crumbling down. All the walls of Jericho fell inward, not out, inward, and they took Jericho. So that's exactly what. Sometimes what we have to do is be patient with our learning, and what we can do that to chess is that learning takes time. It took 7 days for the children of Israel, and then at the right moment, they shouted with their trumpets and all that, and the walls came down, falling down. Same thing with our learning. At the right moment, you'll find that your mind, like with weightlifting, it'll click in, and you'll be able to lift more. You'll be able to calculate further. You'll be able to absorb more information. It'll be great. So just be patient with yourself. That's why Bruce Lee said that plateaus are part of life, and you just have to endure it for a while, but don't be satisfied staying there, and keep pushing forward. And I'll leave you with that. And as Wesley So says, for the Lord Jesus, as I say, God bless, and I'll see you next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, evening, and Lord willing, I'll be back on tomorrow. It will keep pushing forward. Congratulations on 12 out of 12 of the puzzles. Doing great. And thank you again for logging on and spending time and learning and improving and always honoring the Lord Jesus with your talents. And so you get 2 thumbs up. And remember what we always say about our Chess Cruncherism. Many may not sit down and do what we do. When we hang up our coats, they may not, but we do. They hang up their hats. We hang up our hats as chest crunchers, Team Chest Cruncher, and we sit down and study when most won't. A chest cruncher does, and that makes all the difference. So, and remember what Hannibal Smith said: forcing moves, their power. You know where you're taking your opponent. It's either going to be a win or a draw. Remember, if you lose, you can use it as a learning lesson. Never think of a loss as a loss. As long as you learn something from it, it come back even stronger. 2 thumbs up, hoorah, be blessed, honor the Lord Jesus always, and keep pushing forward and having fun in chess. 2 thumbs up. Bye bye, be blessed, and I'll see you tomorrow.